Tonight there's 11 games. Here are my NBA game predictions for December 15th of 2021 during week 9 of the NBA season. Tonight there's 11 games. I'll be going over the spreads and over-unders for all the games. I got the spreads from FanDuel and the over-unders from a mix of betting websites. For the Hawks at the Magic, the Hawks should cover the spread at -7.5 due to the fact the Magic are towards the bottom of the league and the Hawks should be towards the top of the Eastern Conference and playing well. This should go over 224 as I expect a high-scoring game out of the Hawks to cover most of the scoring due to the lackluster defense of the Magic. For betting on players, I'd probably bet on Trae Young to have a decent game, above 24, above 7 assists, and Clint Capella to have a decent rebounding night. For the Rockets and the Cavaliers, I expect the Rockets to cover the spread at +10.5. They have been slept on still. They are playing decent for the players that they do have. The Cavaliers have also been playing like they have something to prove. But +10.5 on the Rockets, that seemed like too steep. Like, I do expect the Cavs to win, but more towards the sound of like 6 to 8 points, more in there. I do expect this to go over 221 because I believe the Rockets are going to cover this spread. They are going to have to score a lot on the Cavs. So, hence the over 221. For the Heat and the 76ers, I expect the Heat to cover the +5.5 due to the 76ers keeping most of their games close all year. They have multiple overtime games and down to the wire games, and the Heat tend to stay in their games. And after that 10+ loss point to the Cavs, their last game, I expect them to come out and not lose by that much again in back-to-back games. I do expect over 211.5 for this. If Embiid is playing, this will easily be over 211.5. But for the time being, this will probably be like a 216-point game, like not crazy high scoring, but kind of an average scoring game for the NBA. For the Lakers at the Mavs, I expect the Mavs to win. They're playing in Dallas, so therefore that should help the Mavericks. Lakers, they still don't have a true identity, a lot of turmoil over there, so as long as the Mavericks come out and play, they put some points on the board quickly, that forces the Lakers to have to expend their starters more, and once it goes to the fourth quarter, they're going to be tired due to their older age, so Mavericks should come out with a win. Should be over 217. Both teams are not known for their defense, especially during the regular season, so this should be a higher scoring game due to the firepower on both teams. Look for Luka to have a good game overall. And then between LeBron, Anthony Davis, and Westbrook, it's always hard to choose which one of them is going to show up the most, so I tend not to place any bets on them. For the Bucks and the Pacers, after the Bucks lost their last game, they should be playing like they have something to prove because you still have Giannis, Middleton, and Holiday playing. So I always have a tough time betting against the Bucks just because of those three are always that are playing. So the Bucks should win each time they step on the floor. I do expect it to go under 219.5. The only reason why this would go over is if the Bucks blow out the Pacers, which that means the Bucks got hot from three, which I still don't expect, as like it would require multiple players on the Bucks to score a lot. So hence the under 219.5, but I do still expect the Bucks to win, even though the Pacers have been playing quality basketball overall, keeping all their games close and usually coming out with a win. I do expect Bucks to win still. For the Pelicans at the Thunder, I have the spread as OKC plus 2.5. Even though they are on a home game losing streak, I do expect that to end. I do expect them to beat New Orleans, as the Thunder are young. This should be a high-scoring game. I saw the spread 210.5. Even though they are young, that there's no go-to players on either team to have a guaranteed bucket. It should be up and down a lot. You can pass to Ingram. Yeah, you can pass to Alexander on the Thunder to get a bucket. Is not as consistent as saying to have Chris Paul get a bucket. But over 210.5, I feel like that's very safe. The spread is really an either or, but I lean towards the Thunder in this case, just because they're playing at home, and these are two bottom tier teams. For the Hornets at the Spurs, I have the Hornets plus 3.5. I don't specifically know why the Hornets are plus 3.5 against the Spurs. I assume people are still up, but even when they had players out, they were still putting up competitive games overall, so I would still expect them to be favorites, as people are still high on the Hornets. And then usually their over-unders are very high, and which they can cover them, but 228 against the Spurs, I don't think so. Usually Popovich has a game plan to slow games down or defend a couple players, make the adjustment to keep it towards the lower scoring side of games, so hence under 228. I do expect, though, DeJounte Murray to have a good game. I feel like it's one of the more safer people to bet on for random people, so probably bet at least plus 15 points and 7 assists and 6 rebounds. Those are bets always placed on him that usually will pan out. For the Timberwolves at the Nuggets, so I have the Nuggets by minus 4.5. I would honestly lean more, because if the Timberwolves manage to keep this game close, they would have to have big games from Karl Anthony Towns and Edwards and Russell, because Jokic can handle Towns pretty easily and then keep up with the scoring between Russell and Edwards, because I expect the Timberwolves have no answers for Jokic. So if there's a person to bet on tonight to have a good game, I would bet on Jokic. If there's a night for a triple-double, I'd expect it tonight, but if it is not going to happen, it is because it was a blowout. So over 217, that should be easy peasy. This should almost be over 222. For the Wizards at the Kings, so I have the Wizards plus 1. I can never bet for the Kings to cover a spread that's minus in their favor. I don't care where they're playing or who they're playing. The Wizards, ever since their hot start, kind of slumped off, but this is the first game of a back-to-back for them. And that next game is against the Suns, so I expect them to try and win one of those two games. So better to win your first game before you try and win your next game. So I do expect the Wizards to come out and try and win this. And if they are going to win, they're going to have to score a lot of points, because the Kings, if they get hot, they can light up the scoreboard, get up to 130. But if the Wizards are going to win, they're going to have to defend the Kings, but still score at least 115. Hence the under 225. My bad. Yeah, if the Wizards are going to win, that means they're going to have to play some defense. Hence under 225. And then for the Grizzlies at the Trailblazers, so Trailblazers played last night. I don't even know why the spread is this close. I would have the Grizzlies by at least 6, easily, 6 to 8. I wouldn't even be surprised if they win by double digits tomorrow. They've been playing very well of late. Their defense has been playing very good, and the Blazers also played it at overtime last night, so Lillard's still kind of injured. expect him not to have a great game. Like, you can place him under 25 points, and I think that'd be fairly safe, but he will be shooting the ball a lot, so I still expect him to score 20, but low 20s. Yeah, under 220.5. That seems pretty safe. Like, I think Grizzlies will probably have like 108 to 112. Portland will probably be like between 98 and 102. For the Clippers at the Jazz, so Clippers should still not have Paul George. If he is back and you have the news, I'd just switch that to the spread to the Clippers plus 9.5. But if Paul George isn't playing, I would have the Jazz by 9.5. This will go over 215.5. I expect the Jazz to be fired up to play the Clippers, as the Clippers are the ones who eliminated the Jazz in the playoffs. So the Jazz should try to use this game as a statement to solidify their dominance this season over previous powerhouse of last year. So I expect them to try and score the ball a lot, even through the fourth quarter, even if they have a big lead. So thanks for watching. You can comment your preds and picks for players and the games to help other people out. And thanks for watching.